All right, well then let's get started. I'm Michelle with Mayflower Cruises and Tours. I'm here with Stephanie at the Conyers-Rockdale Chamber, and we're here to talk today about our Mayflower Cruises and Tours and the Chamber's trip next year, 2027, in the spring for the Tulip Time on the Rhine River Cruise. Hopefully, you'll all take a chance to listen to this video, this presentation, and see what the tour is all about. So I'm going to give you a quick little background about Mayflower Cruises and Tours. Well, let's see here. I'm going to try. There we go. Mayflower Cruises and Tours is a company that started back in 1979, and we are a part of the Scenic and Emerald Cruises family. So since 2018, we were bought out by the company that owns the Emerald Waterways river ships. And so even though we kind of operate as a separate entity on our land tours, we do offer all the river cruises through Emerald and Scenic. And so the river cruise that we're going to be talking today is with our sister company, Emerald Waterways. A couple things to note, and that is on our tours, we like to make them very inclusive. So other than a few meals on your own, and if there's an optional tour you might want to purchase, everything else is included. So your transportation, meaning your air included, your pickup at the airport, to the hotel, your transportation to the ship, and of course, all your transportation for your touring while you're on the cruise. Your hotel in our first two pre-nights prior to the ship or prior to the cruise are included. All your luggage handling. Now, that's not, getting it from your house to the airport and all that good stuff, but just to get it from the airport to the hotel and into your room and then back to the ship is all included. We'll have a tour manager on board the ship, as well as an entertainment manager and an activities manager. So lots of people to be there to take care of all of your needs while you're on this trip, as well as a tour manager to be with you at the hotel portion of the trip that we're going to talk about today. Also, when we're on our different touring throughout the cities that we land in on our cruise, we will have local guides and historians that will take you out and explain the wonderful towns that you're seeing. So you get all of that personal information from the local guides, the ones who live there and know all about the cities that you're seeing. So keep that in mind when you're on our tour, that we try to make it as inclusive as possible, including even your gratuities on this trip are included. So great way to start out. One thing I always like to mention, it's a very unique program to Mayflower, and we're the only ones that I know of that do this. So it is definitely something to think about. We offer what's called a guaranteed share program. And how that works is if you are a single traveler, and you don't have a roommate and you say, gosh, I just don't want to pay that huge single supplement that I have to pay for having my own room. Can't you find me someone to share? Well, guess what? We can. Sign up for the Guaranteed Share program. Indicate that you want to be that. Let us know if you're a male or female, and we will find you a roommate of the same gender. Must be non-smoking. And unfortunately, for this particular program, if you sign up, you can't use a CPAP machine. So if you meet those requirements and you do want to sign up to go with somebody else, let us know. We might find somebody else within the same group within the chamber that wants to sign up and also doesn't have a roommate. The nice thing there is if you sign up that way and we don't find you a roommate because nobody else signs up, we don't penalize you. You just get the room to yourself and no extra charges. Also keep in mind, though, that if this is not for you, then just sign up as a single. You would pay the single supplement and you would then not have to share your cabin. So we've got some options for you. All right. Also, one thing that we offer with Mayflower is a great loyalty reward program, and that is you earn loyalty rewards for every trip you take with Mayflower to use on your next trip within 16 months. So I know we have a few people going this year on the winter getaway in Panama, and they all will get a $100 gift certificate in their documents, or they did in their documents, to save on this particular upcoming river cruise. From this river cruise, everybody would earn $150 savings to use for the trip that we're going to do the next year. So a nice little plus that we offer to you to be a loyal traveler with Mayflower. And of course, the chamber. All right, so let's get into the tour. This is the Tulip Time on the Jewels of the Rhine, and we are traveling next year, 2027, in the spring. best time to do the river cruise on the Rhine, and we'll talk about why. Leaving on March 31st, arriving into Europe on April 1st. So this is an April trip, even though you do leave the US on March 30 trip first. And we will be back flying home on April 10th. This trip is 11 days, meaning 9 nights, because you, of course, lose that first night when you're flying overseas, but you still, get home on the same day that you return. So that's great. And this trip includes 23 meals. So again, a couple of dinners, actually one dinner on your own, a couple of lunches on your own, and all other meals are included. So on this particular tour, we are going to start by flying into Zurich, Switzerland. We'll fly from Atlanta, hopefully on nonstop flights, fingers crossed, but no guarantee on that one. But we will fly into Zurich, and from Zurich, we will drive over to Lucerne, Switzerland, where we'll spend our first 2 nights of the trip. After our 2 nights there, we will travel up to France and board our ship and cruise all the way up to Amsterdam, stopping along the way, of course, in ports in France, Germany, and then in the Netherlands. We will end our cruise after 7 nights in Amsterdam and fly home from there. All right. So just to recap and kind of look at the itinerary, flying into Zurich, Switzerland, and driving over to Lucerne. Lucerne, Switzerland is in the base of the beautiful Swiss Alps, right here on just absolutely gorgeous Lake Lucerne, which is this beautiful lake right in the middle of Switzerland. And we're going to spend 2 nights right here in Lucerne. We will arrive into, again, Zurich and drive to our hotel. We will be checking into the Hotel Europe, which is the main hotel that we use here in Lucerne. But of course, we have backup hotels if for some reason that hotel doesn't work for us or we have a change between now and then. This is a hotel that's been around. It's one of the older hotels in town, but absolutely fabulous. I personally have stayed here 3 times, and I absolutely love this hotel. It's got a great location. It's right across the street from Lake Lucerne. It's got a wonderful restaurant, a great bar that just really gives out that European vibe. And all the rooms are very unique, but very comfortable. The hotel has been upgraded over the years. So it's really a great hotel location as well as comfort. So we will be staying here for the 2 nights that we're on the trip. Once you get in, we don't have any scheduled activities the day of arrival because, of course, if there's a flight delay or something like that, we don't want anybody to miss anything. So you'll get in, you'll get to your room, relax a little bit. If your room isn't ready, we'll store your luggage, and then you can go out and explore. You can walk right across the street, enjoy the lakefront, or walk literally less than a 10-minute walk from the hotel right into the main center of town. So it's absolutely fabulous. This evening, we will have a welcome dinner, get together with everybody else that's on the trip, and we will be having that right at our hotel. So your tour manager will host and go through all of the itinerary with you for the next couple of days while you're here in Switzerland until you get ready to go on the ship. So, and dinner tonight is included right here at the hotel. The next morning, we're going to get up and we're going to do our city tour. By then, you'll be all rested. We'll be ready to rock and roll, right? So we're going to get a chance to see the town of Lucerne and see some of the highlights. Of course, the 14th century Chapel Bridge is actually considered the most photographed monument in all of Switzerland, and it absolutely is spectacular. You'll learn about the history of it, see the beautiful murals, and learn all about when it burned down and the reconstruction. So it's really kind of a great monument here in the middle of the town of Lucerne. And then we'll just do a little bit more walking and we'll see some of the other highlights of town, get a chance to do a little bit of sightseeing and a little bit of shopping if you want, because this afternoon you have an incredible free afternoon. What we do is leave you in town at the end of our walking tour. And then if you decide, okay, never mind, I want to go back to the hotel, you can do so. or just stay in town, have lunch on your own. You'll see here all of these wonderful little cafes that are right along the waterfront here in Lucerne. So you can do whatever you'd like to do, but you do have your free afternoon in Lucerne. There's great shopping in town. Of course, you're in Switzerland, so watches are a great thing to do. Pick up some amazing Swiss chocolates. My favorite, absolute favorite Swiss chocolate shop is right here in the town of Lucerne. It's where I always get all my chocolates for my gifts to bring back home. And then this evening, you do have your evening free because we do have that first dinner where we include it at the hotel. We wanted to give you guys a little bit of free time to enjoy one of the local restaurants. If you've ever heard of the fabulous Swiss fondues, there is nothing like it unless you have it in Switzerland. So, great way to get a nice dinner on your own in town. Very comfortable, very safe. I have walked this town many a night and just absolutely love it. It's friendly, it's beautiful at night, and I think you're going to really enjoy having that evening free for yourselves. Then the next morning, we also are free to give you guys a chance to sleep in a little bit, get yourself repacked before we move to the ship. However, if you are looking for something to do on this free morning, we do have an optional excursion available. And this is probably one of our most popular excursions. And this is to the top of Mount Pilatus. With this excursion, we will drive you to the base of the mountain. You will get on two separate cable cars, a smaller one that's a four-seater that will take you up halfway to the mountain. Then we'll get in one of these cars that you see here on the screen that holds about 60 people, and that will take you the rest of the way up to the top of the mountain. You can see on the left-hand side of the screen where it actually overlooks the lake below, but the views up here are incredible. We are talking about this being done on April 3rd. So guess what, guys? Still going to have some snow at the top of the mountain. But when you get up there, there's a visitor center that you can see here in the picture. Off what you don't see in the bottom of the screen is a huge hotel with an outdoor dining area. I've sat up there and just had some hot cocoa. You can walk around. You can walk into a viewing center through the mountain within and take pictures looking out. It's absolutely incredible to go up here and to say, I've been to the top of one of the Alps, up to the top of the Swiss Alps on Mount Pilatus. Once you're done, we will go back down via the same cable cars. We'll wait at the bottom and we'll bring you back to the hotel where you will have some free time for lunch before we board the motor coaches to go to the ship. Now, we are actually traveling about an hour, I would say 45 minutes to an hour by bus. We will actually go into Huning, France, instead of Basel, Switzerland. And that is very simply because the Swiss government has made it a little more difficult for us with border control, where we have to then get on the ship. So by crossing over the Rhine River to the other side, you enter France. And the city of Huning sits on the opposite side of the bank of the river from Basel, Switzerland. So you literally cross over, we arrive into France on the other side and easily board our ship. So even though the map on your flyer or on the map I showed says Basel, it's actually going to be across the river in France. All right. This is a look at one of our ships, and what is great is we have 14 different river vessels, all of them different emerald ships, but all looking the same. So we're not sure exactly which ship we'll be using yet for next year, but it will be one of our beautiful ships. And these river vessels are built specifically to traverse the rivers in Europe, whether it be the Rhine, the Danube, rivers in France, etc. They're all built the same. You have three main decks with cabins, as well as then the very top deck, which you can see here in this picture, that is the sun deck on our ship. Take a little video, show you a little bit more about our river cruise. Mm. All right. So if some of you have never river cruised, that's a whole new look at it for you. You probably noticed that there were some destinations in there. Obviously, we're not going to Paris, but that just kind of gives you a snippet of some of the different locations that we do. So this is looking at our deck plan now. And just so you know, obviously the colors are our cabins. So we have three decks. The lowest deck would be the Riviera deck. We have the Vista deck, and then of course the Horizon deck. On the front of the Vista deck would be our main restaurant. Going up here to the Horizon deck, you'll find our bar and lounge in the front of the deck and our pool in the back. And then, of course, as I mentioned, we have a full sun deck here on the top. And these are just some views of our ships, very modern and very sleek, very contemporary looking. And I really feel like I've been in many ships over my many years in Europe, and I still love the look of ours the best because it's clean and pristine. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more of a budget savings, I absolutely get it. If you're a person that doesn't necessarily care about having that indoor balcony view and you're just looking for, the place to sleep and change clothes and shower, then this is a great option for you. And this is on the Riviera deck in category D and E. You have a window up top so you can see if it's day or night, if it's, sunny or rainy, but the window doesn't open and it really just gives you an option to see what's going on outside. It is not a window that opens or gives you any kind of a balcony view. If you were interested in that, you would want to go up to our panorama balcony cabins, which give you A, B, and C categories, which would be the entire Vista deck, as well as the Horizon deck. And I'm going to hold this up if you can see me, because this would be your purple and blue here on the Vista deck, as well as your dark green on the back of the Horizon deck. And how this works is if you see in the back of the cabin, there is a floor to ceiling window, and there is a button where you push, and electronically, the whole top of this half of the glass slides down into the lower half, creating this open air balcony feel. It is not a balcony where you sit outside because that would really take away from the size of the cabin. We can't make the cabins any bigger due to the size of the width of the ships, but it gives you that feel like you're sitting outside, but it's really just bringing it into your cabin. And that's a great way to go. Then we also do have our grand balcony suites, which do have a separate outdoor balcony with a sliding glass door that separates the balcony from the room. And then finally, we have our one bedroom suites, our owner suites. We only have four of these, but they have a separate living room and a separate bedroom. So if you're looking for that separated suite, this might be the way that you want to go. We do have, as I mentioned, a bar and lounge area. This is where kind of everybody congregates. This is where we sit, floor to ceiling glass windows, so you can watch the world go by. You've got your comfy lounge accommodations. People will come here during the day and play cards or dominoes or have afternoon tea or just relax, read a book, maybe, check things out on your emails and not be in your cabin, be out enjoying the lounge with others. We also have the Reflections restaurant. This is where breakfast, lunch, and dinner are served. So this is where you would go for your meal times. And breakfast and lunch are served buffet style. So in the morning, you've got your omelet station or your eggs over easy, plus, of course, all of your pastries and meats and cheeses and bacon and sausage and anything you can imagine. If you want to go light, we also have that available. For lunch, we do turn this omelet station. It will, of course, become a pasta station. And we do have different entrees available a la carte for lunchtime, as well as, of course, the full salad bar, pasta bar going on as well. If you're not looking for a full meal, we do a light breakfast and a light buffet up on our terrace, which is at the front of the bar and lounge area. So if you're not looking to have that full sit down meal, you can do something a little bit more light for breakfast and lunch. We also include local wine and beer with all of our lunch and dinner. So keep in mind, if you're a wine drinker or beer drinker, this is going to be complimentary for the entire time of lunch and dinner. Now, oh my goodness, it looks like I'm missing a slide. Oh my goodness. Well, just so you also know that dinner is served fully a la carte. So this is a full menu, appetizer, soup, salad, entree, and dessert. So you will enjoy a nice dining experience every evening, again, with local wine and beer included. We also have a coffee station that does your macchiatos and your lattes and your hot cocos and teas. So that's available 24/7. And then we also do afternoon tea as well as late night snacks. If you stay up till like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, I'm usually in bed, so I don't usually get to those, but they do have some snacks available late at night as well. Evening entertainment goes on in the lounge. And of course, because this is a river ship, not a huge cruise ship, we're not going to have big band shows, but we usually have a local band. We sometimes have a singer. We sometimes have dance groups that come on and perform for us that are local to the region. So we try to do something, even if it's just trivia night, every evening for those who would like to stay up. Also, we have our daytime pool, which is enclosed in a glass room, all floor to ceiling windows, that at night, with the push of a button, the floor rises up and seals off and turns into a cinema. So if you're looking to do something late at night, you might want to catch one of the movies we're showing here in the cinema on the back of the ship. E-bikes are available on board, and those are available not only during some of our excursions, but if you just want to go off on your own one day, you can use the e-bikes that we have on board to go all around on your own. So plenty of activity for those who don't necessarily want to do a slower walking tour. We do have those Emerald Active tours with hiking and biking and rocks, climbing mountains and all kinds of great things that are available to you. We also have a fitness center on board. So if you're looking to do a little bit of extra working out, you can do so. I personally have never even seen the inside of this fitness center on all my river cruises, but we do have it available. I prefer to go to the top deck. If I really want to do a little exercise, I'd rather walk around the top deck. But I'll be honest, you're going to get a mile or more every time you're in a city tour. So you'll get plenty of exercise on your walking tours during the day as well. But when we're sailing, there is no better place to be than up on the top deck, enjoying some of the beautiful 360-degree views while we're sailing down the river. All right. We also have a covered terrace at the front of the ship. So if you don't want to be up in the sunshine or don't feel like walking up to the top deck, then we do have that covered terrace as well. And also letting you know that while we're on our day tours, we break up into smaller groups, but we and have local guides, but we still have the whisper systems, headphones that are hooked up to a system that our guides will use to narrate the tours while we're in the cities. So you don't have to cluster together. You can just walk leisurely and listen to your guide describing everything that you're seeing in each of the towns that we visit. Couple other things to note. Sometimes on the itinerary, you might see words like Emerald Active, and that just means that instead of our traditional walking tours in those towns, we will offer active tours for those who want them, like bike tours instead of walking tours, or vineyard hikes instead of regular walking tours. So, again, nothing you have to worry about in advance. But if you feel like, hey, today I want to be a little bit more active, then join the active group that day. Also, alternatively, we do offer leisurely group tours for those who maybe walk a little bit slower or maybe are using a assisted walking device or things like that, whether it be a cane or trekking poles that we offer, or even a walker, or you just don't feel like rushing through today. We do have a group of leisurely walkers that will walk at a slower pace and do a little bit more resting in between. So always something that's an option for everybody. And then also, we do offer some Discover Mores. Those would be more money. That's why we use the word more, but they are at additional cost and available to you. And on this river cruise, we have two that I'm aware of. Mount Pilatus that I've already mentioned, as well as one of the days, a castle visit, which is absolutely amazing, visiting a different town and touring a furnished castle. So a couple of options for you that we would make available to you at least a few months before departure if you're interested. All right, so back to the itinerary. Once we've boarded the ship in Basel, or rather in Honung, France, we will sail and arrive the next day into the town of Breisach in Germany. And this is a town that sits right on the rivers itself. We will disembark there and we will drive to the small town of Freiburg in Germany. And this is where everybody likes to visit, right? The Black Forest region. The Black Forest region of Freiburg is a delightful town. You'll do some beautiful sightseeing along the way. You'll tour the historic town center here in Freiburg and learn more about their history and their green initiatives, because they are what's considered a ecotourism green town here in Germany. And so we'll learn a little bit more about that town itself. Alternately, if you don't want to go to the town and you want to be a little bit more active, we will have a bike tour in the town of Breisach where we are docked. So you can do that instead of going into the town of Freiburg for that tour. Our next stop is in Strasbourg, France, probably one of my favorite towns. Absolutely gorgeous. It sits through canals that you'll walk over as we go into the town itself. We'll do a touring along the way and learn a little bit more about the history of town and the wonderful architecture that makes these, what I call a gingerbread look, more spectacular. We'll arrive into the main town square where you can visit the amazing cathedral right in the heart of town. And then after the tour, we're going to give you a free afternoon to explore the town. Look at that. There's a chocolate shop right in front of us. There is sightseeing to be done if you want to explore the cathedral a little bit more. You can just sit at a cafe and have a glass of coffee or even a glass of wine in the afternoon. Or you can go back to the ship if you don't want to spend all that free time. Have lunch on the ship, of course, which is included, and maybe just relax this afternoon. Totally up to you, but you do have a free afternoon. If you do nothing else, enjoy some of the amazing French pastries. And there are pastry shops all over the town of Strasbourg. So I know you'll really enjoy that. The next day, we sail and arrive in the town of Mannheim. And from Mannheim, we will travel to this gorgeous palace called the Schweizingen Palace. And this is a furnished palace that is here in Germany. And it really brings on the history of Germany, because it was obviously some German kings who lived here in the castle. It was a beautiful palace that was lived in once upon a time, but now is just a palace that we can tour and visit. They have amazing gardens, which will be beautiful in the spring. So you can tour the gardens themselves or take the chance to go in and tour the palace. And you will have a guided tour here inside the palace. So that's a great something to do this afternoon. Or again, if that's not for you, you're more of an outdoor person, want to be a little bit more active, then we will do a guided hike through the vineyards with our activities manager. So we've got a couple of different options for you that day. Then we will be sailing, I believe, the next morning through our beautiful UNESCO World Heritage Rhine River Gorge. And this is absolutely spectacular. We'll see the famous Lorelei Rock and learn about the history of Lorelei. We will sail through and see over 40 different castles and fortresses on this river cruise. It's about a 2 to 3 hour stretch here that we will sail through. It's a great time to be up on the top deck, maybe with a nice hot toddy or some hot cocoa or coffee as we sail through and see all of these amazing castles. And you will see them on both sides of the river as we sail through this region. There's even one of they call it a castle, but it's actually a fortress that was built on a little island right on the edge of the river and was used as a fortress during the war. So a lot of history, and you'll learn all about them. You'll see another castle up to the left on the hill there. So just an amazing region that we sail through this morning. Then we arrive this afternoon in Koblenz, and Koblenz, Germany, is at the confluence of two different rivers, and this is where the Main and the Rhine River meet. We'll do some great touring in this town. You'll get a chance to tour through itself and then spend some time on your own. You may even want to go up on your own time and visit the fortress that is up in the side of the mountain, and you actually take a cable car, and it takes you from one side across the river up to the other side where you can tour and see the fortress up there. Alternately, if you are interested, instead of doing Koblenz, going down the Moselle River, you do that by motor coach, and you arrive into Kokum, where you will go up to the castle in the mountain, up on the top of this hill here, and you will tour this fully furnished castle. You'll even be able to see where they have some secret passageways to get from rooms to other rooms. So really incredible history here in this beautiful castle that you can visit. Our next day's stop will be in Dusseldorf, Germany, where we will do our touring of this amazing town. It is a very historic town. Of course, like our other towns, we will do walking tours because we can't drive buses into these historic towns, but we will get a chance to tour Dusseldorf. Then we will arrive into Cologne, which is the oldest city in Germany. You can see here the Cologne Cathedral here in the backdrop. And so we'll get off, we'll do a short walking tour into town and get a chance to do a little bit of the Old Town walking tour before arriving into the area where the cathedral is. This is a UNESCO World Heritage Cathedral. It is the largest Gothic cathedral in Europe, I believe in the entire world, and it is absolutely incredible inside. What you can see is the inside of the cathedral itself. So you will unfortunately not be able to do guided commentary in this church, but you can go in on your own and explore and just really see all that this beautiful cathedral has to offer. If you look toward the right-hand side of the picture on my screen, you will see this little gold building or the little gold statuesque in here. And this is actually a close-up of it. It is inside glass and then within a cage. But this is where they have the remnants, the sarcophagus of the three wise men. So some of their bone fragments are here. And this is something that you can see. Obviously can't see inside of it, but you can see where it is stored. It is a major artifact in, of course, religious history. So that is here as well. Then our final stop on our cruise will be, of course, into Amsterdam, which is here in the Netherlands. In the spring, absolutely phenomenal. Amsterdam is known for their tulips. People come here specifically in the spring to see the amazing tulips. And this will not disappoint because once we get into Amsterdam, we are going to visit the world famous Keukenhof Gardens. This is the largest tulip garden in the world. Besides tulips, they have buildings that feature roses and orchids and lilacs and every flower you can imagine. But to see all of these tulips and flowers just in the fields as you walk through, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I can't say enough about it. I've never been a big flower person, but trust me, I've done this garden multiple times and I would do it again in a heartbeat. It is absolutely incredible. So as you walk through, you get a chance to explore those gardens, and we'll have a couple hours to visit. And then we'll go back and have a free afternoon for you to explore Amsterdam. You can do whatever touring you want to do. There's canal boat cruises, there's touring. You can even, if you do it in advance, buy tickets to the Anne Frank house. You can just explore, do some walking around town, a little bit of shopping, maybe take the bike out because we have our bikes available. It is a very bikeable city. In fact, you'll see that there are more bikes than there are people in Amsterdam. So you have a free afternoon to enjoy. And then back on the ship, you have your free evening. And a lot of people like to have dinner and then go off and walk into town because it's walkable and explore Amsterdam at night. So you are going to be docked here in Amsterdam in your final night here on board the ship. The next morning, we will go to the airport in Amsterdam and we will fly home from there. So lots of great ports to see, a lot of things to do. Remember, this is a tour that happens to be on a boat. And people say to me all the time, well, gosh, I've been on cruise ships. And I say, don't think of it as a cruise ship. Think of this as a boutique hotel that floats, because that's how I consider a river cruise in Europe. Your prices are on the flyer, but you'll see here in front of you, starts at $56.39 per person. And remember, that includes your round trip air, all of your meals, all of your accommodations. The only meals, I back it up, those 2 lunches and 1 dinner at the beginning of the trip. Besides that, all of your meals are included. It includes all your touring with the exception of those 2 tours. All of your gratuities, as I mentioned, your wine and beer with lunch and dinner. And we do have packages if you would like unlimited wine and beer or open bar for the entire cruise. Packages that range anywhere from $150 to about $250 for the entire cruise for those drink packages. So very, very affordable way to do that if that's something you're interested in. Remember, depending upon what deck you choose, whatever cabin category is what you pay. Bottom deck, the Riviera with the window is the $56.39. If you're looking for that indoor balcony, go up to the Vista deck at $65.49. Or the Horizon deck, same cabin as the Vista deck. So if you can get on the Vista deck, you'll pay a little bit less, which is great. But if you want to be on the top deck, $7,019, or in our grand balcony or owner suites, a little bit more for those. The not applicable you see after the single supplement means that we do not offer singles in our grand balcony or owner suites, but all other cabins do offer a single. You would just add on to that cost on the left for that single supplement. Or if you're interested in trying the guaranteed share, you pay the $56.39 or $65.49, and then you don't pay the single supplement, and we find you that roommate. Okay? Again, cabins are limited. We only have so many cabins on the ship, and when they're gone, they're gone. So the sooner you sign up, the sooner you get your choice of cabin and get locked into the trip itself. We are offering a current early bird savings if you book more than a year out. So up until March 31st, we are offering a $200 per person savings on this cruise. So you would take $200 off the prices that we saw on the last screen if you book in advance a year out. All right. To hold space on the tour, it does require a $400 per person deposit, but then you are locked into the cabin that you are assigned based on what's available when you sign up. And your final payment isn't due until the end of November. So you have plenty of time to make that final payment. Save up for the year. You can even make payments in between if you'd like to do that, because a lot of people that'll give us $1,000 a month until it's paid off. Absolutely fine to do, but otherwise deposit only needed and final the end of November. And remember, you do need a valid passport to go on this trip, and your passport must be valid for at least 6 months from the dates of travel. That is one thing that our government does require, that you do have a valid passport that does have at least 6 months still available when you travel. And finally, if you are interested, we do offer a traveler protection plan to protect your investment. It usually runs about 10% of the cost of the tour. In this case, it is just $569 per person, and it is due when you make your reservation. Now, what that covers is if you book, deposit, and then you have to cancel, you want to be able to get your money back. So if you cancel prior to final payment, we would refund your $400 deposit. Once we get to final payment at the end of November and you've paid for your final payment, you would then need to file a claim to recoup your money that you've paid on your trip. At that point, it would have to be for a covered reason. It is not a cancel for any reason policy. But obviously, if you get to that point, you're planning on going and you would probably only cancel if it was medical or something that would fall under a covered reason. So, excuse me, just keep in mind that you would have to have a covered reason to cancel once you make it to that final payment amount. All right. We won't answer questions unless obviously you have any for me, Stephanie. But because we are recording this, if you do have questions, please refer them to Stephanie at the chamber. The information is on the back of the flyer. Stephanie, I believe that flyer is posted on your website. So that has that information. If not, we could get it there, or Stephanie can give you the information to reach out to her. And of course, if you have any questions and she can't answer them, she's going to refer to me, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. Please feel free to reach out to us. We are also looking at doing some events to be announced. So there might be an option for you to see me at an upcoming event, and I'm sure Stephanie would let people know via the website that I would be there to answer questions in person. All right. Thank you all for stopping by to listen to this recording. And please reach out to Stephanie at the Conyers-Rockdale Chamber if you have any questions. Thank you so much and have a great day.